Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Eatin with Joe. We are continuing our tour of the States, and today we're going to take you to the birthplace of the oldest and greatest fast food restaurant chain in America. And we're taking you on our first fast food focused mukbang, and it is on the oldest and the greatest, in my estimation, fast food restaurant in America. The answer might surprise you, but that fast food restaurant is White Castle. Subscribe, like, share, comment, anything you can do, we appreciate it. I've never met someone who's had a White Castle and their reaction was like, yeah, that's all right. No, you either love it or you hate it. Me, I love it. So a little bit about the history of White Castle and the state of Kansas. It was founded in 1921. We're coming up on White Castle's 99th birthday this year. I'm assuming they're going to be doing something huge for their 100th birthday next year, but when I went there tonight, it had been a while since I'd been there. I noticed all sorts of things on the menu, but today we're going to focus on the tried and true, the signature offerings from White Castle, and that of course is the slider. Now a lot of people go to restaurants these days, nicer restaurants, and they see sliders on the appetizer menu and they bring out, you know, maybe 3 nice small hamburgers. No, those aren't sliders. These are sliders. White Castle sliders are truly one of a kind. They're small. Sometimes you can even pop them in your mouth, and they are fantastic. So before they get too cold, let's get going. Oh man, that is heaven right there. Like I said, it's either you love them or you hate them. They're not for everybody, but man, if you're a love them kind of person, they're simply irreplaceable. They're little square burgers, about yay big. They're steamed with a few onions sprinkled on top of them, served with pickles, and that's about it. They're wonderful. Like you say, White Castle is coming up on its 99th birthday. It's been around for a long time. And some of the places, some of the stores that it's been in are pretty iconic as well. Here's a photo I'm putting up right now of one of the stores, one of the original Minnesota stores. It's no longer a White Castle, but the building is so cool they kept it around. So of course I talked about the slider being the very iconic menu item from White Castle. We're going to try another one here. It's not the only thing on the White Castle menu. Other things they have, you know, they have expanded their menu quite a bit in recent years. When I went tonight, I saw they have breakfast sliders, they have Belgian waffle sliders, they have chicken sliders, fish sliders, they have chicken rings, different things, different types of sandwiches, breakfast items. It was crazy. But again, we are focusing on the original. I got 5 cheese sliders and I got 5 regular sliders. Joe, why did you get 10? Isn't that a lot? Isn't that a little too much? In the words of Cool Hand Luke, because it was a nice round number. So let's see what happens. Fantastic. There's really no other burger like this on earth. It is so good. Now, to go along with my burgers, I need a break, need a palate cleanser every once in a while, but I don't want to fill up on the sides, so you got to choose them strategically. Personally, I always go with a box of nails You might call them French fries. Box of Death Chips, otherwise known as onion chips. Again, real nice palate cleanser. You don't want to fill up on them. You don't necessarily have to eat the whole thing, just, you know, one once in a while, kind of get ready for the next burger. And then, of course, a glass of oil. Some people call it Coke. Gotta wash them down. And that's it. Simple, clean, delicious. So, personal story about White Castle. After I got out of school, moved into a townhome with a couple of friends. I didn't mean for this to happen. I didn't plan on this, but our place was just 3 blocks from a White Castle. It was one of the best pieces of good luck that's ever happened to me. We would roll through that White Castle midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. It's the perfect time for a dozen sliders. Perfect. Fantastic. So good. It was always kind of a gamble going there, but a lot of times it paid off. I drive by at a minimum of 2 times a day, every day. It was on the main way in and out of where we lived. So it would constantly beckon me. Hey Joe, how about maybe just a couple, maybe just 3 or 4 sliders just to kind of tide you over. You know, just kind of a mid-afternoon snack. And I had to hold off. I had to practice self-control. I didn't want to grow tired of the sliders. I wanted to be able to roll up at 2 a.m. after a night out on Saturday night and enjoy them as they were meant to be enjoyed. So good. Just gonna keep going on these. Let's just do a pop in your mouth. That's solid. That is so good. This came with my Death Chips tonight, the onion chips. Zesty Zing sauce. We'll put that away. Again, the focus is on the sliders. Man, dig it. So on this tour of the United States, and the Mukbang is going to feature a food from every state by the time we're done. I thought that White Castle actually started in Ohio, but I looked at the history and it started in Kansas, so there you go. I knocked Kansas off the list early on, which is a good thing because I looked up Kansas and I looked at the most iconic foods that Kansas has to offer. And outside of barbecue, it's kind of tough to get the foods that Kansas is famous for where I am. Kind of tough to come by. According to this list, the number 6 most iconic food from Kansas, sour cream and raisin pie. No idea. Folks from Kansas, I hope you know what you're doing, because sour cream and raisin pie, I'm going to take a hard pass on that one right now. Oh, we're getting close. We're getting close, folks. The original sliders come with pickles on them. Really nice. All right, well, we're down to our last one. I honestly don't know when my next fast food mukbang is going to be. And I don't know if I want to have one, because how can you top White Castle? Honestly, how can you top it? You can't. Final slider. That's so good. Man. One more death chip. Here we are. Second to none. Can't beat it. Well, we've come to an end of another Eatin' with Joe mukbang. Hope you enjoyed it. I doubt you enjoyed it as much as I did, because that was fantastic.